going to be 4% higher than that, and then 4% higher than that.
Exactly.
That is the problem that I have as a resident. I am a widow. I live on a piece of property that my home does not appreciate, it depreciates. It's an old trailer.
Right.
I live on Social Security. I am retired, but I don't have two incomes. I have Social Security. I am not of the financial elite. There are many people that are $167 this year, and however much it ends up being forever and ever, it does not affect their abilities, their money, finances. It does not affect them. $167 a year extra on top of my taxes affects me because it's money I have to come up with every year for my taxes or lose my home.
That's right. Right. It's a lien.
Okay?
It's a lien on your property.
Yes.
It never goes away.
And it's not what the money's for. If the money is going directly and only for the fire department, that would be all just lovely. But I know that's not necessarily the truth either.
Amen.
I would want to know exactly how that money was going to be spent, by whom, who's going to be in control. And I thank you very much. Thank you.
It's dead.
And the next one is Alan Summers.
Yeah, my name is Ron Williamson. I live at 4442 Southeast County Road 21B. Kind of been with this county since like 1964, so I've been watching the rates all along. I've only been to these council meetings 3 times. One was because they wanted to raise the rates on our electric bill, put a charge on there. The second was one for a fire department. They wanted to do something, but it's absolutely the worst presentation I ever saw in my life.
Amen.
There, for a presentation talking about the fire department. This one was actually pretty good. I appreciate somebody learned how to use the PowerPoint system and actually show us some slides this time. And this, your latest fee, which is really a bill that I have to pay, was like the trifecta in my life for the last 3 months. First of all, State Farm calls up and says, "We got a deal for you. Your insurance will be cruising along pretty smoothly. We thought we'd screw that up for you. So your $900 rate that you've been paying for your little 2-bedroom house there is going up to $2,200. So you need to pay that. You need to pay that here by yesterday."
Yeah.
And on top of that, I said, well, let me go see what Bradford County is doing to me tax-wise here. Because I usually follow that. And went online, downloaded all the data, paid the fee to download the data. You don't get it for free. You got to pay some fee to get your data. So I did that, and holy cow, you're raising my property taxes by 14.4% to $4,400 freaking dollars. And I'm going, good God. And as I'm trying to go, now let me see what adjustments I need to make to cover that little bill coming in. I get this letter saying, congratulations, you're getting a new fee of $167 to pay for fire stuff. And I'm going, what's next? I thought that came out of property taxes. That bill that went up.
Yeah.
Property taxes are being used for. I'm going, my God, how's this thing going up? And then I talked to Howard Wanamaker, who's the county commissioner for Clay County, because I know him very, very well, and the fire chief at Clay County, because I also know him. Because I couldn't get anybody to call me back for a while here in Bradford County to tell me what was going on. So I said, talk to my friends at Clay County. They probably know what's going on in Bradford County. And they did. They filled me in on some of the information, what's going on. They're kind of shaking their head a little bit. But yeah, that's what Bradford's got to do to kind of keep the fire department afloat. I said, good Lord. I looked up a few more stats, and I'm going, out of the 67 counties in Florida, they rated them from the county that pays the most property tax to the county that pays the least property tax. I'm going, Bradford's got to be down here quite a ways here for this little county. No, they're number 17th in the state for charging property taxes.
Exactly. We're a little
Wow. Clay County, number 36 in Clay County. They got a lot more in Clay County.
I know, but
they're
Bradford and they're opposing.
I'm going, my God, where's all this money going to?
They're
So it
my
would do something to figure out how you can squeeze this into the property tax so we don't have this extra. Honest to God, it's a tax. If I don't pay it, you're going to put me on my house. You're going to pay my house. So it's just getting to be too much, guys. It really is. So I appreciate it if you would take a look and see if you could manage something here to knock off this extra fee. And I know we gotta have a fire department, but they're kind of like front pockets. Normally you don't need them, but when you need them pretty bad. So, all right, thank
My name's Alan Summers. I live at 4470 Southeast County Road, 21B, Keystone. Actually, that guy was my neighbor. I have to listen to that all the time. I'm against it also because it's not in its proper case, in its proper place, I don't think. I was trying to figure out mathematically how we come up with $167.
Square footage of your house.
That meant that there is a fixed number divided by the number of houses or residences or land property owners. If the sawmill is burning every year, why don't they pay more than I'm paid?
Exactly.
Because I've never had a fire at my house. I've got an 800 square foot little wooden house. It'll be gone. My beef with this fee is that I'm not sure it's equitable across the board. If 2 miles from my house is 23 acres filled with 3,000 million trailers.
Exactly.
Now I want to know what that landowner is going to pay. Because if there's a fire in one of those $300,000 trailers, that motorhome, believe me, Bradford County going to go there to put that fire out. It doesn't seem fair to me. I've got a little 1 acre spot there, and he's making $1 million a day, and they're still going to cover the fire in his lot, the same as he's going to cover it in mine. So all I'm asking for is a fairness for everybody. And if you're going to charge me $50, fine, but you better be charging that man $1,000. So that's all I can say. Thank you.
Looks like Curtis Amos. Chris Amos. Next one is Winsley Collins.
I'm going to pull this out so I can get it on my face. Hi there, my name is Christopher Amos. I live at 7155 Southeast 2nd Place down in the south part of the county. There's been a lot of talk about fair. My issue is the means being wrong. And you know, if you steal $100 from the little old widow that doesn't have much money, or you steal $100 from a millionaire, you're still stealing $100. So I'm a Bible-believing Christian, and I appreciate the opening in prayer for this meeting. I'm kind of new in this county, so if this is my first time being here, I do appreciate that. And as such, the Bible informs me that stealing is wrong. And if we have a means to a good end, it still matters what the means is. And the bottom line is, y'all, figuring out a new method or line of funding to take people's money, it's still our money. And I think everyone loves firefighters. Nobody's got anything against firefighters. It's like nobody hates cute little puppies. We all love firefighters, and we want good services, and everyone appreciates the public servants and all that kind of stuff. But I do have a little bit of objection to the presentation, opening the thing up with a little bit of, look what we can do for you and what happens if we're not there, and the fear kind of thing. I remember, look what happens if you catch this flu from China. Everything's going to be terrible, so we shut down our national economy. And now groceries cost twice as much as they used to because we screwed everything up for that. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen of the board, your approach for increasing the revenue, it sure seems dishonest. And the response could be, it's like, well, we notified you by mail and we put it in the Bradford Telegraph.
On the wrong time.
But that's no different than me putting a Post-it note on all my neighbors' doors saying, hey, in a few weeks, I'm going to come by and I'm going to take something from your houses. And I'm going to do it again next year. Maybe I'll take a little bit more. And just because I told you about it beforehand, I guess it's okay.
And let's change the date so
so-
nobody knows that it's been changed right away, too.
So anyway, my concern is, can we otherwise balance the budget? I don't have a lot of facts and figures in here, but, you know, it's all of a sudden, it's like, oh my goodness, somehow we need 1 point something extra million dollars. So we're going to look around and figure out, okay, how can we invent a new method of taxing the citizens of the county that is circuitous to the method that is already in place that should be working? And my next question is, more importantly, where does this line of thinking end? Because there's the next thing we identify that we need money for, we come up with another assessment for that. So I would propose that we look at figuring out the budget we have to work with, recommend the board dissolve this resolution, balance that budget. Otherwise, I'd like to see some seats on this board overturned and filled with honest folks. Or not eager to spend other money. Thank you.
Election next year.
Thank you very much, man. Good talking.
Get that thing in here.
Collins,
Welcome to
Collins is
Bradford
next.
County.
Hey, man.
And then after that, David Skinner.
Not snapping. Yeah, you just got to press it. Oh, okay.
Hello, this speaking for my wife. I'm Clint Collins, 21924 Northwest 85th Avenue, Starkport. I own 2 parcels. One is dwelling, one's not. Just like dump fee. I'm all about it. Because with the dump fee, I'd have to take my garbage to the Tri-County landfill and pay by the ton. Yeah, or burn it, you know? And if I burn it, I'm gonna need a fire department. So, with that, I'd like that fire department to be funded out of a designated fund. So, you know, I respect everybody's opinion. This is a First Amendment right, and I fought and served for this country for that First Amendment right, so I respect everybody's view on this. So, I'm for the fire assessment. I have always been for the fire assessment in the previous times. My only concern is the people that have voiced their opinion, social media, complain that they don't know anything about this. Well, I've been at county meetings over the years many times. I go on the website, I go on social media. They're on social media enough to know about tonight and about what's going on, what they got, but we can get it telegraphed. At the end of the day, I think the fire assessment is needed. Others may not. I respect everybody on the board's position. It's not an easy job. You got elected to make decisions that are going to make somebody angry and somebody happy. So, God bless you guys, and God bless your decision in whichever way you go. Thank you.
David Skinner. David Skinner. Stanley Wilkinson.
My name's Stanley Wilkinson, and the reason I don't want this particular tax is because I live 12 miles out of the city. There's no way the fire department's gonna get out there and save my house, so I'm just wasting money. I don't like wasting money. I worked too long and hard to get it. And I'd like to be able to pass my land down to grandkids, great-grandchildren. That's really the reason I'm here tonight, to say I don't really like this tax. Don't like no taxes particularly, but I know we have to have some. But just the way I feel about it. I hope everybody else is concerned about it.
Marshall Rawson. And then next is Christina Crawford.
Howdy, I'm Marshall Rawson. It's probably no surprise that I'm here tonight, but I work in emergency management. I recognize the importance of fire and police. That being said, I also run a small business, and I have a household that I have to run. County taxpayers and county homeowners have to live within their means. So should government.
Amen.
Our local government can't simply say yes to every proposed expenditure that comes their way. In one way, the fire assessment fee is a more honest tax than your typical property tax, and that at least we know where it's going. But the issue is, when you combine that with an increase in property tax already, that is not acceptable and is not equitable for our community. When real estate speculators have already artificially driven up the price of homeowners, and homeownership has become unaffordable for many in our community, this is an extra burden that we cannot afford. This tax will disproportionately affect those with small homes, in that it's a flat tax, $167 for each individual home if it's a dwelling unit, right? Meanwhile, commercial real estate and RVs don't have to have the same tax at $137.5 for the same. So you have a piece of property that's 1,250 square feet. That dwelling unit, you pay $167 flat tax. Meanwhile, that commercial real estate and that RV at 11 cents per square foot is paying $137.5. That is 30% less than a small residential home. You can't justify that at a 30% increase, and that's most of our homeowners that will be burdened with this. Additionally, maybe we should start looking at the fact that we can't continue putting residential development in the south side of our community, when for every dollar that we get for new residential development, it costs us $1.25 to pay for it. When we're talking about EMS, we're talking about fire, police. Bradford County residents shouldn't be paying for new development in this community. The solution is moving away from property taxes across the board, but particularly for those that have homesteaded their property, and moving towards a sales tax and a consumption tax on new development. I stand with the Bradford County taxpayer, and I oppose this new tax. Thank you.
Christina Crawford. The next is Bo. Looks like Haston.
Good evening. My name is Christina Crawford. I live at 2070 Northeast 171st Street.
Just tilt it down. There you go.
There.
You're good.
Thank you. I'm also a small business owner, and I have a business in downtown Stark. And so I really appreciate going after that gentleman that pointed out the discrepancy. But I'm primarily here not because I necessarily completely oppose that something needs to be increased. And I don't necessarily say, I like to think of both. Maybe it's a small increase, and maybe it has something to do with a small increase in sales tax, and that we could come to some kind of agreement. But ultimately, the biggest thing I'm here to oppose is the 4% increase each year. And so I'm not necessarily here for the $167 today. I'm here for, in 20 years, the $365 that will be in addition to my property tax. And so that's what, I don't think that we should leave that open-ended. I don't think that we should say, let's not look at that. And another thing I would like to propose is that with half the town is here, I don't know that this is a vote that should be left up to commissioners. Right, and so maybe we put this on our next ballot and not rush it.
Bo Hasty.
Hello. First, I'd like to say we need Doge to come to Bradford County. Get this fat cut.
I wrote the governor.
And I've called him, I've done it all. But, you know, you're putting this on people that can't afford this. They're on fixed incomes. It's not coming out of your pocket. And when I hear somebody say, oh, well, you go out to eat $3 for a glass of tea. Well, guess what? I can't afford to go out to eat not 1 time a month, much less 4 times a month.
Hallelujah.
Okay, you talk about vehicles. Okay, I understand you got all these vehicles, you need them. Well, do it while you're working. Why are you driving them home, putting gas in them on the taxpayer? The taxpayer's having to take the insurance and pay for all that. Why don't you park them, drive your personal car to your job like most people do? And yeah, put this on as a tax instead of the landowners and the property owners. Make it fair across the entire county instead of subjugating certain people. Because people can't afford this. And I'm going to let you know, America has woken up after these past 4 years. And this might be local, but let me tell you something. We are awake, and on election day, you will be primary. We're not afraid of you, and we will come for you and put somebody in that cares. We are done with this. We are done being told. And really, you don't even own your property, because if you don't pay your taxes, they take it. So it's really not home ownership at all. And then this, you're going to put it on and put a lien, but it's not a tax. It's an assessment fee. It's a crock of crap, but know this. You put this through against what the people is wanting, you're out. Bye-bye.
Gloria and John Spingler. Gloria Spingler. David Sullivan.
Here, your turn for a little bit. Your turn. You get better from here.
I can't do this.
And then after that will be David Kirkland.
Well, we don't need it, do we? Because you got to work it.
I'm doing this for me.
David, go get
This is for me.
Waiting on you.
It's for you.
About time you showed up.
Oh, yeah. This is for me.
My name's David Sullivan. Can you hear me?
Yes? No,
All
a
right.
little closer, Dave.
Oh, you're here. My name's David Sullivan. I'm from 1433 Southeast Avenue, Melrose, Florida. And I oppose this because it's just another tax. I don't see where the taxes I'm paying now are doing me much good. Live on waterfront property. I can't even put my boat in, right? So, enough of that. I pay school taxes. I don't have children. I don't have children in school. You know, I take my responsibility as helping other people with their children. I've raised some, but I do not have a child of my own. You know, so where's that tax money going? You know, this is for the people, by the people. You know, that's the government. You know, y'all want sit there, you're making big money because you're in a commission. Yep. People in the government want to do it because they can make a difference, not for the money. Yeah. So, and I just don't see the reason. I live within 5 miles of 4 different fire departments. A friend of mine called the ambulance the other day. It come from Bradford County. It come from Stark. What happened to the locals?
The fire department, ain't nobody there.
He's partying.
So, I mean, that's all I got to say. I mean, it's a farce. It shouldn't happen.
It's a crime.
So, thank you.
Call it what it is. Thank you.
David Kirkland. After that is Jay Eves.
Good evening, Chairman Reddick, Commissioners, and fellow citizens. My name is David Kirkland, and I reside at 7266 Southeast 2nd Place, Stark, Florida. That's the Crystal Lake Homesite subdivision. As a longtime resident of Bradford County, I, like many of you, have witnessed this evolution of the fire assessment proposal over the last couple of years. I sincerely appreciate the time and the efforts that the commissioners, along with Chief Carter, have devoted to develop a reasonable and affordable fire assessment for the citizens of Bradford County. I strongly support the proposed $167 annual fire assessment fee, which I do not live on the lake, which by the way, equates to only, as we've heard, 46 cents per day.
Please, nobody spoke when anybody else was speaking. Let him speak.
We don't want to hear you.
I will gladly pay 46 cents per day, knowing that in an emergency, I can dial 911 and someone will respond. It is my opinion this fire assessment will help ensure that fire rescue can maintain their current service levels, provide the necessary training to respond effectively to fires, medical emergencies, and other critical incidents. I believe this approach provides a more stable and equitable funding model than traditional ad valorem taxes, ensuring that all properties benefiting from the services contribute fairly. Thank you, Commissioners. I appreciate all that you're trying to do for the county. Thank you very much.
Jay Eves, Ralph McKenzie.
Just knocking them down.
When I go up there, you gonna need to hush.
I don't know how many he's got left, but he's going to break through them all.
Hello, everybody. Ralph McKenzie. I live on County Road 18 in Stark. And it was a nice presentation you gave. That's not why I came here. I came here.
Into the mic, yep.
I didn't come to hear the presentation. I came to talk with the council people. And a lot of people have said it better than I can. You know,
One didn't show up.
well, I came to address them. It is what they said. It's a fee, it's a tax, it's not run right, it's not structured right. I am overly concerned with the fact that my property taxes are going to be raised almost 80% by this. Other people, it's not that much of a difference, you know. I'm going to talk about my truck, like you did in the presentation. I bought it in '94, paid 5 years on it. I wasn't funded. I had to work and pay it every month for 5 years, and I did. I still have the truck, you know. My house is running down, I need a roof on it, and I can do it myself, but I just don't get around to it. You know, it's, I don't think there was enough transparency. I didn't know about this till I got that letter.
Exactly.
You know, and then I went to my neighbors and asked them, did you get the letter? And they said, yeah, I just kind of put it aside. Some of my neighbors. And when I explained to them what it was, they were alarmed, you know, and they should be, and everybody should be. And the point is, for the commissioners, and I voted for some of you, we will vote you out if you pass this tonight. We need more time to study this, to see what's going on. A lot of people did their homework. I've heard a lot of the homework that they've done. And we need more time to build up backing. We need to be more transparent with the funding that you're doing now, with the taxes that you do get. You need to tighten up. We don't need to loosen up. You know, we don't need to pay more, we're paying enough, and you have to manage that better, or we will find better managers.
Thank you.
And that's all I have.
Linda Coward. And let me make one comment. As for Commissioner Thompson, I should have said something sooner. Commissioner Thompson has a broke back in 2 places. and several busted ribs. That's why he's not here tonight. Otherwise, he would be here. So instead of mocking, please pray for him. Thanks.
Good evening, Linda Coward. I'm on Southwest 68th Place in Hampton. I am opposed to the assessment, as our taxes are supposed to be funding our fire and rescue services. I was a volunteer for many years in Alachua County and a short time in Bradford County. I understand the expenses. However, as many people have said, we have a lot of elderly people in this county. We have families that can't afford a 10% increase in their property taxes. They don't go out to eat and spend $3 on a glass of tea. I don't. I drink water already, thank you. But my question is, and I've watched how this county has grown, there are a lot of new houses in this county. They are assessed a property tax. And the only information I could get online, because it's not provided, it said by Bradford County, was back in 2022, there were 100 residential permits provided or issued. There were 81 mobile home permits issued. So that's 180 residences that are now being taxed. And that's where our tax money is supposed to do, support fire services, those essential services. Where has that money gone? That's what I don't understand. And that's only 1 year. That was 3 years ago. And I can look around in that area of the county. There are 30 new houses on Lake Hampton and Hampton within a mile of me. So that's where our funds should be coming from, not a special assessment above and beyond what taxes people are already paying. There's something wrong. And this was not the way to handle it.
It's called a land grab. It's criminal.
It should not have been done this way. And the only notification that I got was the letter after the county commissioners had already voted on it.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's wrong.
That's what everybody said.
I think things need to be looked at. Find out where all those new tax property funds are being spent, and put it towards where it's supposed to be, which is our fire and EMS services.
Everett Glisson Jr. and the other one looks like Everett Glisson Sr. I believe it is. Are they here? Everett.
I got my name. I was here first. So you call mine.
Charlie, put Jenny up there.
Elizabeth Carlton. Jacqueline Cruz.
We're not going to be able to eat.
Donna Baker. McCooey Parker.
My name is Jasmine Cruz, and I live at 10041 Southwest 112th Avenue in Brooker, or Graham. You guys have seen me multiple times. However, the problem, I understand that our fire and rescue need a lot of work, that there's a lot of families in this area that don't get the services that they need timely and reasonably, and so someone dies or their house burns down. And so I do understand that we do need a way to come up with these fees, but there are other ways than taxing the citizens or doing an assessment. Brooker, you guys all know Mr. Melvin, they took and put a 1 cent on their gas tax. Little old Brooker. It brings in about $30,000 a year. A very, very small town in this community. They also do a 1/2 cent sales tax. That brings about $25,000 in a year. If you add that gas tax and that sales tax with the amount of traffic that we have on 301, up there towards Lottie, Hampton, new racetrack. I mean, they're always busy. I come out that road multiple times a day. You're going to hit that $1.7 million you're looking for, plus. and it's gonna minimize the tax on the citizens here. There are a couple of things though that I want the citizens of this community to know. I have brought to your attention many, many times that you do not get these meetings out publicly enough for everyone in this county to know what's happening. I've told you repeatedly, it's not happening. And this is what you get. You get people that are really upset and that want to take your positions away. When someone like Mr. Riddick, you just asked that the last one to reduce it by 50%, or even maybe take it down to 25% to help these citizens. None of them know that. Ms. Andrews, you've helped me time and time again. But they don't know it, and Ms. Spooner, I cannot forget you either. But they do not know it because it's not advertised enough. They don't understand that this has been ongoing on your agenda multiple times. Every month there's almost a fire assessment meeting. They just didn't know. You guys have to bring it to their attention. You, as our commissioners, need to do better. You need to take the time and get out into your community and let them know. I mean, I know me and Ms. Andrews have talked several times, so why don't we have a meeting in Brooker, get all of our constituents there so that she can get to them and let them know what's happening. But you guys need to do it too. It is not just our responsibility. It is your responsibility. We elected you here to do that for us.
Donna Baker. Daniel Cook. Next one is Ben. I can't read your last name. Starts with an H. Looks like
Hiley.
Okay.
Ben Hiley.
Ben Hiley.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dan Cook from 229 Southeast 57th Street in Keystone Heights, Florida. I've had the blessing of being a volunteer firefighter for many years, starting in Keystone Heights, working in Theresa, spending time working for Bradford, and I'm currently serving with Melrose since retiring from the Army after 26 years. With all that being said, dear Board of Bradford County Commissioners, I am strongly opposed to the annual rate assessment being increased by up to 4% per year without further notice.
Amen.
Any increase in taxes should require a recorded public vote so that representatives, being all of you here, ladies and gentlemen,